Welcome to A Healthier, Happier You, the people working to make it happen. I'm Evan J. Cholfin from Lexhammer, where we help the brands to help you live healthier. Today, I'm joined by Joanna Bacchus, founder and CEO of BIOSTRIPS, who's revolutionizing how we think about daily supplements through innovative oral strip technology. Her insights into health product innovation and consumer wellness are invaluable for our audience. Joanna, thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you about the new way of supplementing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what inspired you to create BioStrips?
Well, I just took a look at all the things that I saw wrong that I considered roadblocks in the industry. And for me, as a busy mom, and I traveled quite a lot, I was really frustrated by the fact that my supplements that I was taking weren't portable. I found out by accident when I was nursing my one child that they said she was allergic to dairy and soy. And I said, I don't have dairy, like cow dairy, and I don't have soy. And they said, look at absolutely everything that you are putting in your mouth right now. And the only thing that I hadn't looked at was my supplements. And so I was taking 6 different supplements at the time. And honestly, it was the first time I ever looked at the back of the label before. And I realized it had all of these additives I'm completely unaware of. And when I started Googling them and doing the research, I also realized they can cause inflammation and other issues and other sensitivities in the body. And I was absolutely shocked. So when I decided I wanted to launch my own products and I was sitting down, I actually thought about what frustrated me the most. And it was my supplements because I wanted to offer something that would be easy to take. And it wasn't just for me. I'm also designing a children's line. So it also had to be something that I wouldn't have to argue with my kids about taking their vitamins. I realized that over 40% of people right now have difficulty swallowing pills. And actually 70% of people have pill fatigue. So I knew right away that getting a capsule was not going to work. I looked into gummies and I found out that the manufacturing process just isn't there yet to give you the consistency of dosage. And most of them cannot even be independently tested. And they're full of a lot of unnecessary fillers I didn't want. And I just found that powders were too messy. Luckily enough, my client introduced me to somebody who was a pharmaceutical manufacturer. And at the time, strip technology was really only known by people heard of Listerine strips, like the mouth strips. It was very well known in the pharmaceutical space for medical use. And I was lucky enough that I found a manufacturer who was opening up a nutraceutical division. And I thought, okay, this is amazing. And I found that not only you can make it sugar free, which you can also make it vegan, which these are 2 things that were very important to me. So I wanted to make sure it was an inclusive thing. And that's when everything just started. So we started development, used a person I knew was a top ginseng farmer. So I actually went with ginseng first and we started there and we did the first strip was actually with containing ginseng. And then the rest is history. I started sitting down saying, what are the issues that I want to solve? And that's where I came up with these different stacks that I have right now. But the technology, what impressed me the most is microencapsulation technology. So what's unique about that is it basically minimizes the use of fillers. It guarantees precision dosing. It allows for the product to be shelf stable, so I don't have to worry about refrigerating it or anything like that. And it can stay shelf stable for up to 2 years, which is wonderful. And at the end of the day, I wanted to have that confidence. If I'm going to offer something, I want to know that it's going to be high quality right to the very end. And microencapsulation technology is where it's at.
Absolutely. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about the technology and how that works and how that's different from what's out there right now.
Well, for a lot of people, again, with difficulty swallowing, I wanted this to be amazing for an amazing experience. With microencapsulation, it basically shrinks the active ingredients down in a form that makes it more efficient for absorption in the body. So this strip, they're delicious flavors. So depending on the active is the flavor profile. So some of the herbs and adaptogens I use are quite bitter. So no flavor is exactly the same on any of my strips. Hired a flavorist to make sure that it wouldn't be like Buckley's where it tastes awful, but it works. I wanted to make sure that the flavors were delicious so that you would be looking forward to supplementing. There would be nothing to block you. And it basically puts it into a small meltable strip. You stick it in your mouth. Depending on the type of strip, so if it's a multi-active strip, it takes a few seconds to melt. Some people, it sticks right to the roof of their mouth, but it dissolves within seconds. And then you swallow it. And that's literally how it works. You just pop it in your mouth and go, and you can carry them anywhere. So they're individually wrapped in a wrapper, so you can pop one in your purse, in your pocket, in your gym bag, in your carry-on. The biggest thing that I wanted to have is so that I can travel with them anywhere, anytime. Because I am rushing around. If you saw the front seat of my car, in my console, I have like a graveyard of wrappers where I'm taking them in the car as I go out running my errands, because I'm busy. So I wanted something I can just grab and go and take it when I can. So these were all the things that I saw were a barrier I found were an issue to the supplement industry. I wanted to basically solve all of those issues, really truly innovate and bring something in that was finally high quality, because 86% of what's on store shelves right now isn't even independently tested. And a lot of it, when they did do the testing, it was around 5 years ago, they found that the vast majority of them either had no active ingredients at all, or the ingredients did not match what is on the label. And that is unacceptable. And I feel like consumers deserve better. And I feel like consumers are getting smarter, and they're demanding more from their brands. And so I'm hoping to bring more transparency to the supplement industry. And using this technology, I'm going to try and get as many brands as I can to switch over from these other alternatives into something that is easy for everyone, and also can give consumers the transparency and the trust that I think they deserve out of their supplements.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are you focusing most of your energy in the business right now?
I have my flagship brand, which is BioStrips. So those are multi-ingredient formulas. So right now I have 4 SKUs: an energy stack, a hormone stack, an immune support stack, and then my flagship product, the most amazing product, is my glucose support stack, which is a metabolic health strip. It's actually a 60 pack. There's actually 2 strips in those. So most of them is usually just 1 strip, and I can fit them all in. But for glucose support, in order to match the clinical dose that was shown in the clinical trials of Reducos, I needed to do it in 2 strips. So it's guava flavored, so it's not painful to take. They taste quite delicious, but it is a 2 strip per day, up to 4 strips per day formula.
So who would you say is your ideal customer?
Like, if you ask me about the hormone health, the hormone health helps out from the time you get your period up until you are menopausal. So it's helped out a wide variety. The feedback I've gotten from women who've had PCOS symptoms, PMS symptoms, perimenopause symptoms, and how much it has helped them is like staggering. And it's with consistent use. So when you take a look at the clinical research of my ingredients, consistency is key. So usually we're seeing people coming back with feedback, usually in their second and third month of taking the products. Just in there, again, I have a mix of botanicals and adaptogens that adapt to each woman's body. So of course, that's a women's favorite. The immune support and energy, that seems to be everyone, although the energy strip, my 2 biggest fans are flight crew. Like, absolutely, because it's portable. They can stick it in their crew bag, and they love it for their overnight flights, so that when they land, so it keeps them awake during their overnight flights, but when they land, they'll be able to sleep because there's no jitters and no crash. It also helps them out. I've got feedback about it helping them out with their jet lag, or just giving them consistent energy when they're adjusting to different time zones. And then I also have gotten some amazing feedback as a supplement to take. And my husband does CrossFit, so we tried it out on CrossFitters. And again, the feedback has been really phenomenal. But I use the energy strip like in lieu of a coffee. So I have a heart condition. So when I built the energy strip, I built it for me because I couldn't have any of the sugary energy drinks. I can't have any of the chemicals. And so for me, I was really struggling with that afternoon lull where I was getting foggy and everything. So I really made it for me to give me a sustained feeling of energy, but also mental focus and clarity. So truly, it's a universal. When I tested on the flight crew, it was men, women, short, tall, old, young. It's the energy strip it works because it has adaptogens in it. So that's what adaptogens do. It takes a look at what's going on in a person's body and adapts to what's happening with them and supports it.
I understand that BioStrips are having some really exciting success right now. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about that. What's been going on?
So we launched at Expo West this year, and that was taking a risk as a brand new brand launching there, but the response was phenomenal. So we We're like, we got awarded by Mentel as one of the top 10 innovative brands at the show, which is a huge honor. The feedback we got from retailers, a lot of retailers are having gummy fatigue right now. So gummies, unfortunately, are full of sugar. I actually was talking to someone the other day and he said, hold on a minute. And he literally went and added up. He had 4 gummies a day. Like, he was using these 2 brands and he added up and he was having 15 grams of sugar. And we calculated in 1 month, he was having 2 extra cups of sugar per month from his gummy routine. And he had no idea. People don't do the math. They don't look at it and say, okay, oh, it's only 4 grams here and 4 grams there. But when you add it all up, times it by 30, the number is entirely different. And so, and there's also been a lot of complaints on causing cavities and pulling out fillings and all of those kinds of things. A lot of retailers are getting gummy fatigue. There are people who switched over to gummies because they have pill fatigue, and now they're looking for a new innovative alternative. And this is where oral strip technology comes in as being the future of supplementing. I truly believe it. It's in its early stage. So just when gummies were 0% market share, and I think now they're around 30% market share, I believe that strip technology is going to be the exact same thing. Once it takes off, and it's already starting to take off in countries like Australia, because it's getting more well known, it's just a matter of time before it becomes big in North America as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking ahead, what do you see is going to be your biggest challenge in marketing moving forward?
The biggest challenge is, and I guess because no one's seen it before, I want you to picture my booth with a giant ceiling to floor image of someone eating it and putting it in their mouth. Giant image. On the reception desk, it said tasting station, tasting station. And then throughout, there were images of people putting in the mouth, but invariably, we had people come up daily, pick up the strip, say, oh, BioStrips. Does it go on your arm? Because they automatically think it's I don't know. Even my website, like, literally my website has it everywhere. The images on my Amazon, and one of the feedback was like, oh, I thought it went on my arm. And it's because people don't know what it is. And so we're trying to, it's basically the biggest hurdle, I think, is educating the public that this technology exists and that it goes in your mouth, and that it's a dissolvable. And so that's why we say sugar-free for everything, sugar-free and vegan. Because if we say sugar-free and vegan, then people are like, it does go in the mouth. So we learned a lot just from testing out that we have to yell out sugar-free. It dissolves in your mouth in seconds, like that type of thing. And teaching people, because my boxes, so I decided to be disruptive even with I know I'm showing you pictures on a podcast, but I was disruptive even in my packaging. So my
Yeah.
packaging, I made it in a hard box. I did the same box quality as like the iPhone box, because I wanted to be, eventually we're coming out with a refillable pouch where we'll send you a mailer and you can refill this box. I also didn't want to get crushed in your carry-on or in your duffel bag. So even the box is completely different. It does not look like vitamins at all, because vitamins, people just picture it in a bulky plastic bottle with the little fluff, and they have it envisioned. So not only does my everything is so beautifully done, it looks like coffee, they're like coffee table vitamins. They look so nice. So it does not look even aesthetically like, I mean, which is what I was going for, but it means there's additional education that has to happen. But I think as more and more brands are launching, I think it'll get easier and easier. But definitely, because I'm one of the first to market, there is going to be an education process to really teach people about, most people have never added up how much sugar is in their gummies they're taking right now. They have not gone through that exercise. They have no idea that a lot of the supplements you're taking haven't been third party tested. They have never looked at the fillers and how much is filler content and how much is actually active ingredients, because people don't know what they don't know. And so it's an education process. Like, you're spending your hard-earned money, take a look at where it's going and is it actually working for you? Because the last thing you want is to be throwing your money, especially right now, throwing your money down the toilet. And so I think that this type of technology provides that transparency and that trust to consumers. And I believe that this is the time. And I think just consumers are going to demand that more and more, and retailers and brands are going to need to catch up.
So being first to market and educating the public is going to be the next challenge for you to face, it sounds like.
I have to say my my base is anyone with a science degree. I've talked to I don't know how many dietitians and nutritionists that are looking at the ingredients of my sister brand, the BIOSTRIPS, and they're saying, "Oh, you're using the methylated form of B12 and folic acid." And I'm like, "Thank you for acknowledging that." Like I'm the my team would say, "Why, Joanna, are you using the vegan methylated form of B12? It's double the price." And I was like, well, it's because about 40% of the population has the THFR gene and they can't absorb it properly. And so we need to offer it in this methylated form so they can actually absorb those nutrients. And so my team would look at me blankly and I'd say, just trust me on this. This is what we need to do. And I think that I untapped my favorite fan base because they are so picky about their supplements. They know the science, they have science degrees. And so I actually untapped myself a whole new niche, which is healthcare professionals who understand what this technology can do. And they are very keenly interested in where I'm sourcing my ingredients from. So I love it. It's the best. I had the best time nerding out for 3 days straight with all of the with all the dietitians and nutritionists that came by my booth. And they were so excited about the fact that I'm offering it. So full script, if you're listening, we would really love to be carried on your platform because a lot of people, a lot of dietitians and nutritionists send their clients over through full script to get their supplements.
Yeah, it sounds like great opportunities for affiliate marketing as well with some of these
Yes, I just
folks.
set up that program. So we have the Amazon affiliate program. We just set up TikTok, and then we did another affiliate program through, I think it's called Share a Sale, or it got taken over by some other company. And I realized that it's that people need to get compensated, but I want people who are truly going to be brand ambassadors who will also get compensated. So I'm very particular about who we bring on to that program because I want to make sure that they're truly going to be educating their customer and that they're going to be our best brand ambassadors. So we just set up all those programs. I'm excited to be bringing on the right people.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. What are your main growth targets for this year?
So we're talking right now with several large retailers. And so my goal is to get placed with one of those large retailers. We've also set up our first retail relationship and had our first purchase order. That is all going to be finalized this year as well. Through Expo West, we were able to meet an amazing media agency. We have a new fulfillment center that's EDI compliant to be able to accommodate all of the larger retailers. So for me, instead of trying to be everything to everyone, I'm being very strategic and I'm trying to place and focus on BIOSTRIPS first. But as a direct result of Expo West, I also have met super large children's brand, for example, that is looking at co-branding my children's supplement line. So I call them like planting seeds in a garden. I'm just talking to so many wonderful, amazing people who see the potential of this technology and they're looking for strategic partnerships, and I absolutely love it. But for BIOSTRIPS, that is my priority to launch first into retail. And then I have, as I mentioned, what I'm going to be targeting for dietitians and nutritionists, which is the SoyStrip brand. And that's for individual ingredients like AB Fortis iron that's soft on your stomach, methylated B12 and folic acid, more singular coenzyme Q10, right? Those kinds of things where it's singular ingredients that's specifically for the healthcare sector. So that is going to be a big push. And I've also been looking into different private labeling opportunities as well, which again, by second day, they were like, do you private label? Well, yes, I do. I have to say, if as a brand, if I'm going to be talking to any business owner that is in my space, I think the number one thing you have to do is take the chance and go out and get a booth at Expo West and promote yourself. And it was the best thing we possibly could have done. We were able to make so many new connections, meet so many new excellent people. I think it was the best possible decision we made as a brand.
That's great. And it sounds like you made some incredible connections there. Also, you're talking to some retailers. I'm curious, how are you currently acquiring most of your direct customers now?
So we just got set up on Amazon. We also have organic sales through Pinterest, which was very interesting. So I wanted to explore it. So Pinterest, I think people don't realize the potential. There's a lot of buyer intent on Pinterest. There's also an app called Flip, and a lot of people don't know about it yet, but it is growing, and we're getting weekly sales on Flip, and that's without doing, again, ad spend. We're just trying to upload our brand videos. And like I said, it's a newer app, but I think there's a lot of potential there as well. And then we just set up our TikTok shop, and that also has so it's all these bits and pieces that are coming through. I think the smartest choice that I've made over the last few weeks is, instead of having a social media manager, what I did instead is I hired an existing influencer content creator to take over my TikTok and my Instagram account. And thankfully, she already knows how to make videos, create videos, post videos. She does all of her own keyword research. She already knows how to do graphics. She already is very experienced. Yes, I guess you would say unorthodox to hire that, because I tried the agency route where they sit behind their desk, but they don't actually post. I don't think I wasn't getting the results that I needed organically. And now I have somebody who actually can test my ads. The agency is also working with a whole team of influencers and content creators, where we're also going to be testing organically on TikTok and Instagram. And then once something goes viral or hits, then we're going to be doing our ad spend. So I think, knowing what I would have known now, what I would have done differently is I would have hired an influencer content creator to start my TikTok and my Instagram account first thing, because they have the knowledge, they're already creating, they understand the platform, they understand the algorithm, they understand how to do the research. It's been such a breath of fresh air working with somebody like that. And they can hop on all those trends. So that's the other thing too, is that you can't just plan it out for the whole month. The days of content planning or content strategy a month in advance is not, honestly, you need to be having somebody who's got their finger on the pulse and is ready to, well, if this trend is popping off today, to be able to hop on, go on camera and do that trend today. That is going to make the hugest difference, is having her. And then we're also niching down on social media as well too. So if you try to market, I mean, you've heard this before, Evan, if you market to everyone, you market to no one. So what I'm generally doing right now is biohacking. So we are really going all in on biohacking on TikTok, and that itself is a very growing niche. In all of those topics, it talks about using herbs, adaptogens, the newest technologies, biostacking, providing all of that content and research. And it basically, we're making that our focus, because like glucose support, which is our flagship product, is like the perfect example of biohacking your system, but using natural ingredients to do it. And the technology, which is microencapsulation technology, is its own form of biohacking, because we're using a new effective technology, and we're marrying it with 2,000-year-old herbalism. So it's like we're doing something that is so different. And so this is what we've decided to do, is also to really focus on that audience, because that audience is the most likely to try new, innovative, and disruptive products. And that's what we decided to do. So this is all things. It's like, again, if anyone's listening who's starting a business, I'm trying to help you to avoid the heartache and the stress, add huge value. So the one thing that we also are doing is we're picking different topics and we're creating very high educational guides that are free. We did one because it's travel season. So we have a traveler's wellness guide. It includes things like making sure you put flaky salt on your tongue before you go on an airplane, and all those like practical tips so that you stay well while traveling. Where then our next guide is around a 7-day gut reset, or the the de-bloating guide. So anything around metabolic health. And we're providing all of this amazing educational content so that we earn the right for the audience to get to know us as a brand. They can see that we're providing huge amount of value. They enter in their email address to download the free guide, and then we take them on a journey and introduce the brand and earn the right for their business. People are sick of being sold to, and so I think you need to educate them. You need to show them that we're looking at their health holistically, and I'm never ever saying that supplements are the answer. Like, don't take my supplements if you're not trying to lead a healthy lifestyle. It's like, it defeats the point. So I'm trying to show people the importance of food, nutrition, and lifestyle choices along with supplementation. So this is the decision that we've gone to, and already we're seeing amazing results organically by just doing that switch. So I would highly recommend brands look at doing that as well.
What's going to be crucial to get right in the next year?
The biggest thing for me, and maybe I'm in a unique position, is knowing when to say no. I got approached by a lot of different retailers. They are not a good fit for BIOSTRIPS. but they might be a good fit for one of my other brands down the road. And I think the mistake I made is I took advice from so many different people, but they only wanted to give advice. They didn't want to be doers, right? Opinion, but then there's the implementation. So I think what you have to do is from early on, bring in the expert who actually will be the doer to help you implement those strategies. And I go back to marketing. 80% of the success, it's not about the quality of my products. Like, there's so many amazing products that are out there, but if you're not marketing them properly, if you're not providing huge amounts of value to your audience, it doesn't matter how good it is, you're not going to get the sales. So you've got to find somebody early on who actually understands that and understands what's currently working on social media. And for me, it's finding somebody who was already posting, was already a creator, and is already in the mix on social media. It can't be somebody who, like, I literally had people saying, oh, yeah, I don't have a TikTok account. Well, if you don't have a TikTok account, how do you know what I'm talking about then? If you're not posting yourself, if you're not on there. So I just feel like if there's one piece of advice is to hire somebody who actually is actively posting their face on social media, and that they would be the ones that would also be the one. And they're successful at it. They're successful already posting on social media. And then that could be the person that you bring on to do your, to help you with your marketing.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. So if we had this conversation in 12 months, what would make you feel it's been a successful year?
I've landed my dream retailer, so getting placed there. So there's two that are my top two favorites. So we're going into those discussions right now. My dream is to co-brand with a really, really large brand, either on my children's line. I have a pet line, I have a dental line. So I have a lot of discussions. I call them seeds in the garden, where these brands have such excellent reputations. And I'm basically allowing them to plug into my matrix, where I've done all the formulations, all the flavor profiles, I've done all the work in the compliance, and they simply are coming in and we can make something amazing together. And they already have the audience, the reputation, and the branding that we can actually grow 10 times faster than me trying to do it on my own, and the amount of time it would take for them to try and innovate this from scratch on their own. So I'm trying to find large brands like that where I have those synergies and keep feeding the pipeline for the following 12 months.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for today's episode of A Healthier, Happier You, the people working to make it happen. Huge thank you to Joanna for sharing her insights and the innovative work BioStrips is doing to truly revolutionize the supplement and delivery industry. And if you enjoy this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit. If you're a brand or business making an impact in health, wellness, or personal care, we'd love to help you grow. Connect with me at luxhammer.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep making a difference.